Have you ever caught yourself thinking, how much time do I have left? It's not an easy question, especially after 70. But here's the good news. Scientists have identified 7 signs that can indicate how long and how well you might live. Even better, each of them is something you can act on. Gently, simply, and with care for yourself. Today we'll look at these signs, and you'll learn what to focus on to strengthen your health, regain confidence, and live the years ahead with warmth in your heart. Tip 1. Let's start with something simple but important. The strength of your hands says more than you think. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass, especially noticeable in the hands. It becomes harder to open jars, hold mugs, carry grocery bags. But what few people know is that grip strength is one of the key indicators of overall health. Scientists link it to heart condition, blood vessel health, even life expectancy. If you've noticed your hands are getting weaker, don't panic. Just take it as a sign to pay a little more attention to your body. Not to pass a fitness test, but to live with a bit more confidence. I often talk about this with my patients. One woman, Marilyn, 72, from Idaho, came to me not with complaints, but simply said, "Doctor, I just can't open glass jars anymore. Maybe it's my age." I suggested she squeeze a rubber ball for 1 minute a day. A couple of weeks later, she said, "You know, I can open jars again, and I even feel in a better mood." Then there was George, 76, from Missouri, a former builder. His hands used to be strong, but they weakened after illness. He started doing simple exercises with a hand expander while watching TV. A month later, he said, "I carry my own grocery bags again." Don't wait for a miracle. Give your body support and it will respond. What often helps is a simple exercise with a ball or rubber ring. Just squeeze it in each hand for a minute or 2 daily. You can do it while watching the news or listening to music. What matters is doing it regularly and without rushing. You are stronger than you think, even if things don't feel like they used to. Moving forward begins with the smallest step. Your body remembers how to be strong. Remind it, gently, with care. Tip 2. Pay attention to how you walk. It means more than you think, many believe. That a slow walk is just a part of aging. But research shows walking speed after 70 is one of the key predictors of longevity. A slow, uncertain gait may be the first sign that the body is struggling. Stamina is declining. Coordination is off. The heart is weakening. It's as if the body is signaling, "I need more support." If you find yourself stopping more often to catch your breath or notice you're falling behind a walking partner, don't ignore it. I've worked with older adults for many years and hear similar stories often. One of my patients, Richard, 75, from Ohio, once said, "I used to walk to the store without thinking, and now I'm scanning for benches." We started small, counting steps between the kitchen and bedroom. Gradually, he increased them, and within a month, he could walk around his block. Then there's Loretta, 79, from Texas, who first laughed, "What will a few steps do?" But her granddaughter gave her a pedometer, and Loretta got hooked. Now she challenges herself daily to beat her previous step count by 50. This isn't about sport. It's about life, safe, comfortable, active. One of the simplest ways is to time yourself walking 10 regular steps. If it takes more than 6 seconds, it's a good idea to add some movement. Walk around the house, march in place near the sink, make a loop through the hallway. All of it contributes to your health. Walking is your inner rhythm, the music your body lives by. Even the slowest step is a step forward. You don't have to go fast, just don't stop. Your journey isn't over yet. Tip 3. The quiet guardian of health. Your sleep. It's time to learn to protect it. Many older adults believe that poor sleep is just normal. It's age, what can you do, they say. But in truth, sleep remains vital at any stage of life. During sleep, the brain clears out toxins, the heart slows down, and cells recover. But if your sleep is broken, you wake up often, or can't. Fall asleep until 2 a.m. Your body is running on empty. That kind of sleep doesn't restore, it drains, increases fatigue, anxiety, and blood pressure swings. It's like charging your phone only to 10%. It turns on, but can't function properly. I've seen many transformations when people finally begin to sleep well. One of my patients, Helen, 80, from North Carolina, complained about waking at 4 a.m. and just tossing and turning after. We talked, and I suggested a simple bedtime routine. Turn off the TV an hour before bed, dim the lights, and sip warm chamomile tea. 2 weeks later, she told me, I can feel the morning again. I wake up rested instead of exhausted. Then there's Jack, 77, a widower who stayed up late watching movies to distract himself from loneliness. But it disrupted his sleep. He started reading paper books before bed, and within a month, he noticed it was easier to concentrate during the day and his memory improved. No magic, just order and self-care. What really helps is a simple habit, going to bed at the same time each night and putting away screens an hour before sleep. Air out the room, turn on soft lighting, drink herbal tea, or simply sit in silence. It's how you tune your body for rest. Your sleep is not a weakness, it's a strength, like a caring knight that wraps you in its arms so you can wake up alive and clear-headed. You deserve peaceful, deep nights. Don't deny yourself this gift. Tip 4. The soul also needs movement. It's not always about your legs, but always about the people around you. Many underestimate how deeply loneliness affects us, especially after 70, when the children have grown up, some loved ones have passed, and friends call less often. That feeling of emptiness isn't just sadness. Loneliness is directly linked to memory decline, weakened immunity, and even an increased risk of heart disease. A person without social connection loses not only interest in life, but also the ability to recover. Emotional warmth is as much a basic need as food or sleep. I see this almost every day. Once, an elderly man named Robert, 78, from Iowa, came to me. He looked well-groomed, but his voice was filled with silence. In conversation, it turned out his wife had passed, his children lived in other states, and he could go weeks without speaking to another living soul. I suggested he try a board game group at the local library. Robert agreed. A few months later, he came back. His eyes sparkled. I didn't know how much I missed talking, he said. Then there was Mary, 81, from Virginia. After moving in with her daughter, she felt like a burden and stayed home all the time. We came up with a simple rule: one interaction every day, a phone call to a friend, a chat with a neighbor, a message to a niece. After a month, she told me, I feel like I matter again. One of the kindest actions is simply to call. An old friend, a neighbor, someone from your church. If no one calls you, be the first to reach out. Talk about the weather, a show, a memory. Words can heal better than pills. You are not alone in this world. You are part of a chain of lives, memories, and emotions. Connection is like a light in the window. Even one small flame brings warmth. You are worthy of that light, and it's closer than you think. Tip 5. Appetite is your body's voice. Don't silence it with stillness. As people age, their relationship with food often changes. Some lose their appetite, others say, just a bite is enough for me. But there may be more behind that than habit. After 70, the body actually needs good nutrition more than ever. A lack of appetite can be a signal: weakened immunity, protein deficiency, early signs of muscle loss, or low mood. Some even develop what's called a silent form of malnutrition. The person looks fine on the outside, but the body is weakening inside, and this can be prevented. I remember one of my patients, Grace, 79, from Colorado. She came in complaining of fatigue and dizziness. I asked about her meals, and she honestly said, I don't have the strength to cook, and I just don't feel like eating. We made a simple plan: yogurt in the morning, soup for lunch, a boiled egg in the evening. 2 weeks later, she called me. Doctor, for the first time in a long while, I actually felt like going out for a walk. Then there was Peter, 82, a widower from Georgia. He mostly ate cookies and drank coffee. At first, he was skeptical about switching to a protein-rich diet, but agreed to try chicken broth and cottage cheese. The result? Within a month, his swelling went down and his energy returned. What often helps is gently rebuilding the habit of eating. Start with just one full meal a day. Ideally, something warm and protein-rich. Broth, eggs, cottage cheese, a piece of fish. The quantity doesn't matter as much as the nourishment. You are like a garden that needs feeding in order to bloom. Even a spoonful of soup can be an act of love toward yourself. Nourish your body not just with food, but with care. Your body deserves it. Tip 6. Calmness is not weakness. It's an inner anchor that extends life. When a person experiences stress, at a younger age the body recovers more easily. But after 70, every worry, every emotional upheaval cuts deeper. Fear, anger, loneliness, even constant concern for loved ones. These aren't just moods. They are biochemical reactions that affect blood pressure, sleep, heart function, and immunity. When there's anxiety inside, everything feels unsteady outside. Stress in old age accelerates aging and depletes the body's resources. But here's the good news. It can be managed even if it feels like it has already become part of life. One patient I deeply respect, Mary Lou, 84, from Minnesota, went through a difficult time when her son got divorced. She felt as though the family had fallen apart. She couldn't eat, cried often, stopped going outside. We began with something simple. I asked her to write down 3 things she was grateful for every evening for a week. A few weeks later, she brought me a notebook filled with notes like drinking tea by the window, my grandson's laughter on the phone, a bright day. These tiny anchors gave her stability. Then there was James, 77, who became very irritable after surgery. We began practicing the 4-4-4 breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4, pause for 4. He became calmer and was surprised himself. I didn't think air could heal. What helps many is simply to talk it out. Write your worries on paper. Speak with a friend, a priest, or a therapist. Sometimes just saying your pain aloud is already halfway to relief. Breathing exercises help too, a few calm breaths in the morning and evening. Stress is like a storm outside the window. But you have walls, a roof, and a fire within. You've already survived so much you've learned how to endure. Now it's time to learn how to rest. You have every right to it. Tip 7. The mind doesn't fade with age. It waits to be awakened. Many believe that with age, memory weakens, attention scatters, and the mind just isn't what it used to be. But that's only part of the picture. Yes, the brain changes, just like the rest of the body, but it doesn't shut down on its own. On the contrary, research shows that an active mind after 70 is one of the key factors in longevity. When a person keeps thinking, counting, reading, conversing, the brain literally stays young. It's as if it says, if you use me, I'll stay with you. But if you stop giving it tasks, it begins to fall asleep. It's that simple. I had a wonderful patient, Henry, 83, from Illinois. At a checkup, he casually mentioned, I don't read anymore. My mind's not the same. We made a deal that he'd try reading just 1 page a day, not a novel, just the newspaper. 3 weeks later, he came back and said, I want to finish that old book about ships again. Then there was Clara, 80, from Arizona, who loved crosswords. When her fingers started failing, she was upset she couldn't write. Her grandson installed an audio quiz app for her, and she laughed and played it every day. A month later, she told me, it feels like my brain has woken up again. One of the most accessible ways to support the mind is to give it a small daily task. Solve a puzzle, recite a poem, read a short article. What matters is to do it regularly with interest and without pressure. Your mind is like a flame in a lamp. Even if the wick has dimmed, it hasn't gone out. A breath of attention is enough to ignite it again. Don't be afraid to turn on the light. Your mind is a treasure and it's still with you.